Well, how do you do, buckaroos? Sláinte, I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer for the purposes of this video. Don't have issues with one of the things. That's all right. I thought that might be a problem. Never mind. So apparently now I can't stream live to X anymore. Because you have to be a premium member, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give money to Musk Nuts. Not giving money to that fascist bastard. Fuck him. I'll leave the platform altogether before I give that bastard any money. Anyways, I digress. That was fascist. Anyways, I digress. So I made virtually the same cocktail with just a slight difference between 1 and 2. Both are versions of a whiskey sour. I just made the second one slightly different. When I say that, I mean just a slightly different simple syrup in there. But I used the same whiskey for both because I had just a little bit of this left. This is the Heaven's Door Single Barrel Select Cask Strength Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Park Hills Warehouse. I picked this up back in January 2nd. So I figured it was probably time to finish it up as I've been working through some things, just trying to finish some stuff up. There we go. I don't need to prop that tall for this one, no. But that's not tall enough. Let's get somewhere in the middle here. Let's see if we can find one that works, man. That's close. That's close enough, actually. Well, maybe. There we go. How about that? We'll leave her right there. Yes, right there. Anyway, I digress. Sláinte. Pick something real fast here because I forgot to do it on the last video. There we go. Now we're back in business. Anyways, hey, buckaroos, how the heck are you? So I decided to do a late night happy hour since I am off tomorrow. I figured, why not? We'll live it up on Tuesday since I'm working the next couple 3 weekends. That's where the money's at, man. I don't mind picking up those days. So I had a simple syrup already made, so I used the last of it in this cocktail. Why I say I made the second one slightly different is I made it just a little more tart, a little more lemon. Since this is a little bigger whiskey, I felt like it might need a little more, and I think I'm right because I do feel a tartness here. But I'm curious to try that second one because I think it's going to be just about where I like it. Just enough lemon to balance the sweetness. Anyways, I digress. Man, that is good though. I do like this cocktail. I don't make it a lot. I've been doing a lot of old fashions, various versions of experimenting with a lot of different simple syrups. But my classic cocktail has always been the Manhattan. But it is hot, man. It seems like the summertime. A whiskey sour is really refreshing, and I haven't really done much with it this year for some reason. So I thought, well, let's I got some fresh lemons. I got some fresh lemons. Let's see what we can do, man. Oh, man, that's delicious, though. I do like this whiskey. In all honesty, it's a whiskey that probably should be drank neat, and I did drink most of it neat. But I was at the end. I figured, oh, what the hell? Let's put in a couple cocktails. Let's get through it. Like I said, I've had it since January. And I'm not buying anything new at the moment. I'm trying not to. There's been a couple circumstances where necessity for one reason or another had me pick up one, but I'm trying to just work through some stuff that I have because we're going on vacation in a couple months. So I'll use that time to kind of replenish again. I'm not one of those guys that have a collection. I don't have 100, bottles of bourbon or whiskey. I sometimes I might have as many as 9 or 10 as a backup, but that's as most as I ever have. Right now, I've got 3 unopened bottles. But at one point, I think I had 8 open bottles and 10 unopened bottles. So yeah, I kind of go through periods where I'll just buy a bunch at a time, then I'll quit buying, work through everything. I'm not a collector, and I hate the secondary market. The secondary market is everything that is wrong with whiskey these days, or even beer for that matter. But it seems to be most prevalent in the whiskey and bourbon world. People that want to capitalize on the secondary market try to convince smaller minds that they need certain brands, so they'll spend more than they should. You just should. You can't get through to some folks to tell them you don't need those brands, you don't need those whiskeys. And I had someone try to tell me, well, if you don't buy in the secondary market, there's things you're never going to try. Well, then there's things I'm never going to try. I mean, I don't care because I know there's other things available, readily available for less money that I can buy. So I'm going to take advantage of maybe those underutilized products, those better products that folks aren't pushing for one reason or another, rather than pay too much to put some money in some shyster's pocket. And that is exactly what's going on with the secondary market. People are intentionally ripping you off. They're trying to convince you need things that you don't need so they can make some money. And I won't be a part of it. In fact, I've lost friends over it, to be honest with you. I've been kicked out of a couple bourbon groups because I've been very vocal against secondary markets. And I don't care because I feel like they're intentionally taking advantage of people, and it's wrong. They want to disguise it as, well, it's just capitalism. Tell them, no, it's not. That's not capital. That is if it is capitalism, it's the worst part of capitalism, and that's the part of capitalism that we should end. Treat people fairly. Charge them a fair price. If you're intentionally trying to make more, if you're intentionally selling a product for 3-4 times more than it's worth, well, no, that's not how capitalism should work. You're taking advantage of idiots because they're not smart enough to understand that they don't have to have those brands, that there are so many other great products out there that they could buy. Anyways, I'm going to get off that high horse as I finish this cocktail. Once I get started on this subject, it just frustrates me because I know there's people out there. In fact, I know folks personally that do this, and it just bugs me to no end. Vanessa, how are you? I'm going to post your comment there. Hi, right back at you. I'm going to step off camera for half a heartbeat and grab my next glass. Get on your bed, blow the scooter and drive. We've been cranking my Spotify, and they played a song that I kind of forgot about from the legendary Phil Lynott from his solo album. The song was called Ode to a Black Man. I'm trying to look up that solo album. Solo in Soho. Yeah, you had 1980. Oh, man, that album was so great. Man, he died way too young. But Solo in Soho, it was the particular song that popped up on a mix was Ode to a Black Man. Man, that song is genius. And sadly, relevant to what's going on today. I think Phil and everybody else thought things might have gotten better over the years, but unfortunately, things have gotten worse. Phil, I'm sorry to report to you, but I'm sure you're up there looking down on the song going, what the fuck is wrong with you people? If there is a heaven in Phil's confused right now. Why we keep screwing things to fuck up. Anyway, here's to the legendary Phil Lynott. Man was a beast, a great singer, an amazing bass player, but just an incredible lyricist as well. I don't think he gets credit for that as much as he does his playing and his singing, but he was a fine lyricist as well. Yeah, trying to pull it up here, and it wasn't working with me, man. Track listing. I remember the song Solo and So. For some reason, I'd forgotten the song Ode to a Black Man, but man, that song was just pure genius. Anyway, launch it. So, again, what I did slightly different with this one is just up the citric acid, a little more lemon going on here. Oh, yeah. To balance the bigger bourbon here. Solo and Soho. Man, that was a great album. So I said in an early video, my wife and I went to the movies today. We hadn't been in a while. I had a date night, and it didn't necessarily cost us anything because I'd already spent the money, if that makes sense to you. No, we went back, I don't know, I think it was around Black Friday of last year. Alamo Draft House was doing a deal. I think it was like half price for their gift cards or something like that. I can't remember if it was half price, or it was like 30 for 50, something like that. Anyways, um, so we bought three at the time. We've used one. Now we've used two. I've got one left. But so we go on Tuesdays because movie prices are cheaper on Tuesdays. Only $7 for us to get in. Although it works out to about 10 by the time they add in all their frickin' fees. There's like a $3.77 convenience fee per ticket. And then tax. So it worked out to, well, no, I guess it was total. It wasn't per ticket. So it was worked out to just under $20 for the two tickets. So $14 tickets turned out to be 20. We got two drinks and some chips and queso, and that was almost 30. They're killing me. Nevertheless, we had it there. So it was a nice date night that didn't cost anything out of pocket today. So that was kind of nice too. Anyways, man, that's nice. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I got it all out of there. Looks like there's just a tad bit left in here. Might as well drain that sucker completely. Anyways, get all the goodness out of that bottle before I chuck it. It's good whiskey. I actually picked this one up. I couldn't find this one here in Springfield. I picked it up in Tulsa on January 2nd. My wife and I spent a couple of days out there, so that was nice. So I'm trying to finish everything I am. I'll probably be down to zero by the time we go on vacation. I'll build it back up again. I tend to do that. Go through a bunch, and then I quit buying. I'll load up on vacation because they've got several distilleries where we're going that I haven't had any products from before. So I'm really curious to try some things that I haven't had, both beer and whiskey. We're staying at a BrewDog hotel, so that'll be interesting. I've got mixed feelings about BrewDog as a whole, but I'm looking forward to the experience, you know. And there's a lot of small. There's a few breweries that I know the names of, and there's a couple that I've had beers from before because I've got friends in Ohio that have sent me some things. But most of them are smaller, smaller breweries and brew pubs. So those are the ones that I'm really looking forward to going to. Whereas a lot of folks want to go to the names they know, the place they've heard of. I'm kind of the opposite. I want to find the smaller, those smaller hidden gems that maybe that others might be overlooking. I'm not looking for the names everybody knows. I want to find those other places, those great neighborhood breweries. All right, as we get through the end of this one, really been enjoying the whiskey sour. I hadn't had a whiskey sour in a while, but it's the weather for it, man. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all right, good guys. Sláinte, thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it.